Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork, Monson Brewing Company, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, Oculto, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. This is our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we unpack news from our city, state, and country. We take a look at your comments, ideas, and suggestions, and we make a cocktail of all this information and drink it joyfully so that we can better connect with each other in our city as a community of English-speaking locals. I am so happy to be here today with you. It is Wednesday, April the 2nd. It is hump day, but I have a warning. I'm going to get ugly today. I'm going to be critical, and I'm going to try to be as positive and nurturing as I can. But knowing me, I'm going to get ugly. And I just am. I mean, there are certain things that I need to understand that I don't understand. This is all going to happen in the second half of the broadcast. So I've said this out loud just because maybe by saying it out loud, I won't get as ugly as I'm likely to get. I'll take deep breaths, I promise. But even before we go there, I have important news that I wish to share. And as always, I invite you to connect through the capital letter Q, as in question, if you have an important question or an important comment to share. And I will be looking for your comments at the end of the broadcast on this particular issue. And if you're watching live for the first time, feel free to add a capital letter N, as in new, and we'll give you a lovely little welcome to our community. Let's just get started with, a blank screen. See, this is a bad omen. There it is. Let me put it in the right place. Da, 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 da. There you go. Okay, so here's a bit of local history I wasn't aware of. And in case you weren't aware of it either, I'm happy to share. 81 years ago yesterday, the municipality of Cabo Corrientes, just south of our municipality of Puerto Vallarta, was founded. Prior to this, Cabo Corrientes was actually part of the municipality of Puerto Vallarta, but on April 1st, 1944, the town of El Tuito grew enough that it was elevated to become the head of the new Cabo Corrientes municipality, which of course today is the 9th largest municipality in the state of Jalisco, featuring popular tourism destinations such as El Tuito, the head of the municipality, Maito, which is a gorgeous beach, and Tehuamixtle, another beach not far from Maito, that just celebrated their annual giant oyster festival, for those of you that enjoy oysters. So congratulations to Cabo Corrientes. I am missing these destinations. It's been a while since I've been down there, although I did spend a weekend in Tuito not too long ago, but it is such a nice getaway from Puerto Vallarta. I thought you'd want to know. Here are good news. Yesterday, the governor of Jalisco, Pablo Lemus, reaffirmed his commitment to complete the project for the first teaching hospital in Puerto Vallarta. He made this announcement in Guadalajara during his address at the inauguration of Carla Alejandra Planter, the first female rector or provost of the University of Guadalajara. And I quote his words: "Today, there is a great national demand for medical specialists, which we cannot yet bring to different regions of Jalisco," he said. We already have an agreement with the general rector to strengthen a model that is a global example, teaching hospitals, that is, civil hospitals. He continued by saying, the next civil hospital we are proposing to build will be within the University Center of the Coast, or the CUC, and it will be the new civil hospital of Puerto Vallarta. This is excellent news for our city. And for that matter, it is excellent news to celebrate the new uh, rector at Guadalajara University, Carla Planter. She is the first woman to serve as the general rector of the university, which is one of the most important in Mexico and all of Latin America. Now, this is worth unpacking just a bit because you may be wondering, why do we care? Well, for starters, the Guadalajara University has a local campus, the CUC, and there's all kinds of cultural activities that take place there, despite the fact that it may be a bit inconvenient for many of us to get all the way over there. But the CUC is a local chapter or a local extension of the Guadalajara University, and this is important academically and culturally. And then, of course, as far as culture goes, the activity in the state is tied to the hip with the Guadalajara University. Just as I mentioned yesterday, there are all these performance venues that are run by the university, such as the Telmex Auditorium, the Santander Performing Arts Center, which includes several venues within the whole Performing Arts Center. Then there's the PHIL, the International Book Fair that takes place in Guadalajara every fall, and the largest in all of Latin America. This important international book fair would not take place without the coordination between the state government and the Guadalajara University. So a lot of the educational and cultural activity that happens in our state is tied to the university. So keeping a nice, healthy, friendly relationship between those two entities is very, very important. Good collaboration. And speaking of good collaboration, yesterday morning, President Claudia Sheinbaum held a telephone conversation, the first one of hopefully many, with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, in which they agreed that it is in the best interest of both countries to maintain economic integration. This was reported by the Mexican government through its social media accounts, where they stated that they agreed to maintain dialogue and agreed on the importance of North American economic integration with respect for sovereignty as the best way to compete with other regions of the world. And I quote. And all I can say is, yay, go Canada. And now let us see what's going on with the weather. Da 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 da. Oh, yes, rest in peace, Val Kilmer. So young and so unfortunate that he passed away. It is 24 degrees right now. Humidity is at 64%, and our weather forecast is mostly cloudy skies in the morning today with mostly clear skies in the afternoon, a high of 26 and a low of 16. Then tomorrow, Thursday, mostly clear skies, but a few clouds may be wandering around. A high of 26 and a low of 16 will be our temperatures. And then Friday, clear skies throughout the day with a high of 26 and a low of 16. Moving right along, of course, you, I'm sure, woke up this morning in the back of your head thinking, what if I've had too many to drink and I get stopped by the police? No, I'm just kidding. I know you didn't wake up thinking about that, but seriously, if you are stopped and you don't pass the breathalyzer test, you can end up having to pay between 16,285 pesos and 21,714 pesos, depending on how much alcohol is detected in your body. In addition, you can have your vehicle impounded and you could lose your license altogether. So maybe don't go there. If you can help it, find a designated driver. And that's that. I also want to let you know that this Friday is Art Walk Friday again in Colonia Emiliano Zapata in Galeria Dante, which is one of the many shops and galleries that are participating in the event, is celebrating renowned sculptor Oscar Samarripa with a special exhibition of his works. The artist, of course, will be present at the event. And this brings us to the dicey issue. I'm going to tell it like it is, and then I'm going to unpack it. Pum, pum, pum. Let me first put it on the screen. This Saturday, there will be a reception at Art Vallarta Museo for Chicano artist Felix D'eon for an exhibition that opened this past Sunday and will remain on display until the month of June. As usual, the venue has failed, to the best of my knowledge, to publish any information to explain why we should care. But here at Coffee and Headlines, we're all about strengthening connections. So let me tell you about this amazing artist. Felix was born in Guadalajara to a French father and a Mexican mother. At a very young age, he and his family moved to Southern California, where he spent most of his childhood and adolescence. He attended college at the Guadalajara University in San Francisco and subsequently lived in San Francisco until 2010 when he returned to his native Mexico. He has exhibited all over the United States and Mexico, and his work is carried in stores and galleries around the world. Why is this important? Why is he important? Because he celebrates queer love and desire like no other artist I know. He treats vintage illustrative styles as a rhetorical strategy, using their language of romance, economic power, and aesthetic sensibility as a tool with which to tell stories of historically oppressed and marginalized queer communities. And I've had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times, so I'm totally jazzed. He's going to be in Puerto Vallarta, and I'm looking forward to seeing him again. He has ruffled feathers by depicting revolutionary heroes such as Emiliano Zapata as queer heroes in a powerful exhibition in Mexico City's Fine Arts Palace. He created his own version of Mexico's traditional game of loteria using queer characters. And in his mid-century modern depictions of same-sex love, he celebrates the whimsical nature of these illustrations and the provocative nature at the same time. So back to Arte Vallarta Museo. Why am I so critical about venues that don't provide context about their activities to urge us to attend? And this is not only about Arte Vallarta Museo. It's about any venue, any art gallery, any place that is concerned with attracting customers, visitors, audience. Why is it that it took me 10 minutes to build this content about Felix D'eon just prior to this morning broadcast? And so many venues and art galleries in town fail so miserably at telling us why we should bother to go. In this day and age, it is absolutely easy for anyone to take advantage of online tools to create content, to create posters, to create press releases, or anything else. This is why, among other reasons, I am doing this workshop tomorrow. And yes, it's my shameful self-promotion. Somebody's got to do it. You know, we're going to talk about everything that has to do with using artificial intelligence and some free or mostly free online programs and applications for you to create eye-catching promotional materials to streamline communication and coordination with organizers and exhibitors and the media, to using Chat GPT and other AI tools to create press releases, ads, and outreach. I mean, I just don't get it. And it's not about me sharing these tools. It's about, why is this happening in this day and age? Maybe I shouldn't have watched that many Jasmine Crockett videos last night on YouTube because I got all worked up about this. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. If Natalie Hurling is watching, yes, the director of Arte Vallarta Museo, if you're watching, Natalie, I'd gladly comp you the 300 peso price of admission to my workshop tomorrow for you or any of your associates to attend the presentation. Just show up. Just show up. And if there is a thorough and compelling description of this event anywhere online and I just fail to find it, please send me the link and I will gladly take back my words and apologize. The last time I attended an event at Arte Vallarta Museum, I was practically attacked by the fundraising table trying to get me to stop and put out money. And I honestly felt like many of you English speaking visitors feel when you land in our airport and you have to go through that timeshare tunnel from hell. So I apologize for being critical, but hey, let's help one another here. And that is the end of my comment. So if anybody is watching and you have anything to say about this, if I think I'm being unfair, do let me know. I can take it. But seriously, stop treating the public in Puerto Vallarta like we're retarded or we don't care. I mean, if you don't provide enough information about these things, how are we to find out? And that's the end of my comment. I hope I didn't get too ugly. And now let's look at your comments. Oof. Okay. And Felix, if you're watching, it'll be so good to connect with you. Your work is just beautiful. Lots of good mornings, good mornings, good mornings, good mornings. Good mornings, more good mornings. Thank you very much. Pamela says, good morning, mi amigo. Thank you for all the shout outs for our play, Harvey. It was a wonderful run and well attended. I couldn't get to see this. I feel bad, but it just didn't work out for me this time. But I am a big fan of everything you guys are doing. And I look forward to connecting with you, Pamela, or anybody else from Teatro Sin Borders about what is coming up in the future as far as your productions are concerned. Logan says Cabo Corrientes is where it's at for sure. Especially now that the summer months are coming, humidity, I can feel it. It is increasing. And a day trip to El Tuito it's high in the mountains. There are pine trees along the way, and it's only 1 hour south of Puerto Vallarta. It is a wonderful thing to do. Laura asks, did you go for tacos yesterday? I actually did not, but something just as good or even better happened. Lars took me to a wonderful new breakfast place in borderline Versalles and Díaz Ordaz, which are the two colonias that are next to one another. I took video, I took photos, and I will most likely share them tomorrow, if not tomorrow, on the following day. Because it was a great new breakfast and early lunch place, fully air conditioned, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Pamela reminds us of the Feria del Taco, which is taking place this weekend, and I think that is awesome. Let's see. Designated drivers are a thing. Use common sense always. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that comment. Ba-da-ba-ba. Let's see. Let's see. Lynn says, we went last year and plan to go again this year. As a vegetarian, I don't often get to enjoy tacos. Last year, I was able to get wonderful vegetarian tacos at the festival along with some craft beer. That's good to know. And of course, this is important. There are a number of people out there that don't eat meat. So it's good to see that some taco places have reacted positively to that issue, or that choice rather. It's not an issue, it's a personal choice. So there are options. There are options out there, and this is all good. Uh, Bill says, I appreciate your thoughts regarding art in PV. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm sorry. Chris says, I hope you feel better now. Thank you for telling it like it is. Chris, you know, it, enough said. Enough said. Betsy says, not at all ugly, Paco. I need this kind of information and I live here full time. I can imagine how visitors feel. Let me take this opportunity to gently remind viewers that part of what I do to keep Coffee and Headlines healthy and running is I spend early morning time, and then I do it 3 times a day, going through over 20 sources of local information, state, regional, federal, nationwide information sources, so that we can connect. It is unfortunate that sometimes this has to happen, but I will say I feel happy to go through the process of finding this stuff, because that is what Coffee and Headlines is about. It is about creating connections. Do I expect to save all the venues and the art galleries? Hell no. But pay attention, venues. I mean, it is. Ugh. Okay, enough. No more Jasmine Crockett for me for the rest of the week. My bad. And I think we are at the end of today's broadcast. Again, I'm happy that I got that out of my system. I didn't think I was going to get that worked up, but just imagine for a second, how do all these amazing artists that come to Puerto Vallarta to elevate the quality of our cultural and entertainment life must feel? And I've heard comments when they see that the venues they are here to perform in or to exhibit at are not doing enough to promote them. Just food for thought. Just think about that. Feel free to share your comments. Maybe the venues need to hear it from you. So you have choices too there. Thank you very much. And I'm going to go. Oh, one more thing that I forgot to say. There are no interviews for the spotlight today because nobody signed up. It happens, but it's good for me because it gives me more time to finalize and polish my presentation for tomorrow, for which some tickets are already moving. So if you're planning on attending, there's still room, but don't get lost. Don't find yourself without a seat. Get your ticket at the Joint Boutique Hotel today if you can. And if not, I'll see you tomorrow. And of course, I'll see you tomorrow morning for more coffee, more headlines, and more stories. No more Jasmine Crockett, no more rants, at least tomorrow. Have a good day.